Link 5G. I feel like I need my glasses in here. I'm like, I feel like I see blurry.
Do you need those move closer?
No, that's fine. Oh, that's perfect. Um, entering locations from 5G. Right in my end. Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's do a good group.
yeah, they're super young out of the UK. They're coming in. I saw them some point in the winter.
Oh, really? Right.
Yeah, in Brooklyn. It was at this small venue called Baby's All Right.
Well done.
Where is it by? What's that famous steakhouse? Yes, it's like a block away from Peter Luger.
Okay.
So they had a show there. They're actually gonna be at the Newport Jazz Festival.
Okay.
And I think they're coming back in Brooklyn in August. Yeah, they're pretty good. I like them.
Okay. Do you play?
No.
Uh-oh.
No. Nah, I wish I played an instrument. Rats.
Anything else?
Nah, pretty good. Pretty straight. Yeah, I feel like this room feels good this month. So we'll see.
You can say it. All
Okay.
right, take care.
Thank you, you two. See you. Oh, we're done till the summer. So yeah. So we'll see you in the fall again. Hopefully. Have a Oh wait, I skipped it. June. We got one more month.
Only if we don't.
I'm reading June, so I'm like, we're done.
Oh, not yet.
And one more. Oops.
So I clean the owl lens. So let's see how it looks now.
Okay, better.
We got the new owls.
Oh, sí, cuando yo estaba allá la vi. O sea, llegó la caja, no que la vi.
Sí, yo la abrí esta mañana. Y bien bonita, bien más protegida.
Vamos. ¿Se puede cambiar para que sea? Oh, okay, I see what we see. Actually, that's not horrible. We can leave it like that, si no se muerde.
La puedo echar un poquito más para allá que se vea aquella esquina. Quizá.
Yeah, lo único que tiene que desconectar full is the audio from the laptop, from the Zoom, because last time it was, oh yeah, it's gonna move, so you gotta lock it. Y se está moviendo.
Se mueve. Sí, yo le tuve el audio a la
Okay. Yeah, it just moves though. So it's picking up sound. That's what I'm saying. ¿Eh?
Esta esquina se ve.
No. No se ve, pero es que ella está recogiendo audio. So something's on. Tú le diste a leave computer audio in Zoom. Because it might be that.
Audio settings.
Ujú. En el mismo, next to where the mic is, cuando tú le das la flechita, ahí, cuando tú le das la flechita, ahí se le puede dar Leave Computer Audio. Okay, déjame ver. And then, I think in the app, we gotta lock it because it's still picking up movement. In the Owl app. Ya, de que tú te mueves, se mueve ella.
Ok, vamos a trabajar en eso. Tenía mucho tiempo que no iba a un jazz de ese tipo.
Ellos son como un chamaquito de 20 y pico de años. Bandy service.
Bike base.
Pero la resolución, Paula está allá afuera.
Sí.
Me llama la más fácil. Domingo, porque en Executive se votó la resolución de domingo. Entonces se tenía que estar online. Hey, una pregunta que estoy viendo, que la resolución de domingo, eso se votó en exec. Y está, y no, sí, pero no está en el Airtable.
Todo estaba en earlier, que voy a estar abajo. I don't know if you want to speak to her, porque I gave her a checklist and I don't know what she did.
Where she's in the hall, she's downstairs o arriba?
She's See if she picks up her phone.
Está bien, dile que me mande la clave for an Airtable so we can just drop it now. Or if she wants to log into Airtable here.
Stuff like that. We gave her the documents and she knew what to upload, so I don't know if it's that, let me just
Está bien.
tell her to come up here.
Está todo. Mira, hey, Anthony. Yeah, Domingo sent his thing for exec. Y hay que ponerlo en cosa.
I didn't find that. That's not there.
What, the executive one?
That resolution is not in our.
I mean, we voted on it at exec, so Paula should have had it.
I'm gonna go buy a bottle of water. Do you want one?
Yeah, please.
Would you like a bottle?
Don't buy one from the building though,
Why?
because they're like $6. I thought you were going outside.
Cross the subway. You cross the subway. Do you want one?
I'm okay, thank you.
Mira.
Yeah, I tried. I looked for that and Mariela, and there was nothing. I checked the email.
Can you log in then? Because we voted, I think when we vote at exec, we just gotta make sure that like whoever handles exec passes it so that it's like, hey, this was on the agenda, because everything that's automatically on the agenda for exec goes for general. So let's have you log in. So we can do-
You have it there?
No,
You don't have the
No.
resolution?
no, I have the resolution. I don't have the login.
Oh.
That's,
Hopefully you don't ask for a code.
or if you don't know, so.
Yeah, I don't know where that is.
The Marielle one is the one that nobody got, but the one from education we got. Exactly.
If you check on our server, there's nothing.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
No, it's not such to be.
Oh my God, I got all this stuff saved. All right, let me not lock myself out. I gotta think first.
Do you have it on SharePoint?
Not this one, cause this is like my.
Oh, that's yours, yeah. Let me see if I have one.
Hold up, cause I know it. I just changed this the other day. Changed this recently. That's why it's wrong. Okay. And hopefully you don't ask for a code.
If anything, I have the other one. So
You
the
have the
main one
other-
is on SharePoint, here too, is on SharePoint.
Cool, yeah. And. Why did it took?
Do you want me to try the other one?
I think that would be preferable rather than me locking myself out. I definitely tried to do that before I left though.
Because it's the first time.
You want me to go back and put it? If you email it to me, I can go back to the.
Oh, there's a thing. Y en el tele, you don't have your work phone on?
I have my work phone, but I don't think my Airtable, but I can probably reset my.
Yeah, just
password.
reset, yeah. Dale ahí de nuevo. Or you could do it from the phone. I don't know, not in my company.
Just reset
Dale
my
aquí. Or you want me to hit forgot password here?
password.
You want me to forward you the resume? ¿Quiere que cheque?
Que ya pude conectarme con el audio.
Oh, no, pero ese es para el ignore. Es. Bueno, mira que esto todavía no está.
Solamente eso.
A ver si se mueve de ahí. Bueno, tan mal. Es raro que eso. Creo que después hay que tirarle support. A ver, o sea, no, pero así, acuérdate que el otro mail con el teléfono me era lo mismo. Pero en ese ángulo que tenía estaba bien, entonces no se me surprise. All right, perfect. Y hay tantos surprise doors. I don't know dónde salen. Oh, Mary. Hi, Mary.
All right, you saved it on this.
Oh,
computer?
down. Would you rather be down here or up there? Down here?
Yeah.
I don't, I got it. You got it? Got it.
Mary, you can take that here.
Mhm.
You take out one of these chairs. I have one for you here. It's a chair. Huh? You gonna get one here?
Tiene que dar la vuelta, yo creo, del otro lado. Ah,
Chair here. You wanna use this one?
Hey, it's too low.
You got it.
yeah, done.
Can't get up.
That's all. Okay. Wait, why does it look fine? It's fine. So, but Marion nunca mandó la. But I know,
It's all over the place. It's really difficult to,
Yeah.
like at this point, I can't be burdened with everything.
so, no, I just wanna make sure I know what was, cause for sure these never came in, so it's just B and C, so licensing. And we definitely got this, cause this was 6 o'clock. Alright, we're good.
Can you just log me out?
Let me leave it just in case they decide at the beginning of the meeting that they have it, so I can just upload
Okay,
it.
can you just log me out when you finish?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Um, oh, yeah. Yeah, just give me 2 seconds. So. There's gonna be blurry of emails on the way. That's the case. They're up. They're not on. Yes. But how did we get? Um. Let me know when you sign in as panelist, um. Oh.
Which one do you wanna know? Let's see which one. One of us has to be downstairs and one of us has to tell you. I'm gonna go get over here, let's check in, see what you be in her downstairs. One here, the back, 3 in the back, and then by the time you hear it, like, one other.
Oh, so you're out, you know, so, yeah. I would say that would be my first way, and I just like it.
But next time, I'll come to next year, but I always. This has been on the board for 20 years.
Yeah, that way there's more like.
I already spoke to them.
But if you don't also,
Yeah, no, we are. Civic. Getting better out. Very bright, very.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's great, yeah, that's what I expect, sort of like we, for the new guys there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it too, because I go to the structure, yeah. Let me see if I can get them, and then, like, even also some main cards, the activities. Yeah, people can sign them. That people can sign and not sign. Because, technically, you know, should be the holiday. Well, actually, no, maybe. Start.
Yeah, we have the same problem with Paola speaking on the phone.
I mean,
Okay, shift lines. is there.
está bien, or maybe I wonder if it's fake. Estamos viendo mucho. Pero como no es como una vista grande, eso.
Ah, pero arriba se mantiene,
Sí, siempre,
Ajá.
pero
va a coger cuando la gente esté hablando.
o cualquier movimiento.
Bueno, pero ¿y esta cámara? O sea, la cámara de aquí.
Está funcionando.
To get the snow food.
Somebody say something? I can't hear anything.
Hi, Bruce. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I heard something. Who's that?
Kathy.
Hey, thank you. Okay, I'm on hold. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We're just gonna go on mute until, we're still waiting for folks who are on Zoom, we're still waiting for a few more members to trickle in. We're almost at that halfway mark. So we should get started in the next 2 to 3 minutes.
About 17% in most recent polls. By definition, that's going to go to zero. People are going to make up their minds in this last 30 days.
All right. Just to confirm if folks who are on Zoom can hear us in the room okay. Can I get a thumbs up? All right, thank you for the thumbs up. So welcome to I'm gonna be moving a little bit just because I am 5'1" and these screens do not help. So we do have extra mics also, so that way everybody's visible and folks who are on Zoom have a equally good experience. My name is Catherine Diaz. I'm the chair for CB12. Welcome to our main meeting, our general meeting. Is this the first time for anybody here? Ooh, okay, don't we love that? All right. Actually, let me have Anthony, you could also introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Anthony Viola. I am the first vice chairperson of Community Board 12. It's nice to meet you all.
We'll have more folks trickle in. So yeah, our general meeting is really the meeting where we come to vote. So throughout the month, we have about 10 committees and task forces, and they discuss everything from whether it's a sidewalk, cafe, or a hydrant to really major issues that are affecting city, state, or even nationally sometimes. And so this is really the meeting where we meet to vote, but we do encourage folks to always check out our calendar online and all of our committees. And that's really the opportunity where we have a richer discussion here because we're really here to vote and listen to folks from the community during public session. It's kind of quick, a little bit more limited dialogue than we like it. Since we have a lot of new folks, including new members, I'm going to walk through just some things. So if you are on Zoom, you can read along in your language. So you can select any language. We don't have interpretation that is live, but you can at least through closed captioning. How this meeting works, like I said, is a little bit limited in terms of dialogue and discussion. So during this meeting, only board members are able to speak. That includes our new members. And we have a moment of the night that usually kicks out off, let's say 7:10, 7:15, that is called the public session. So if it's a question, a comment, a concern, an event that you have coming up, that's really the portion where members of the public are able to speak. And for that, you sign up either on the chat or you can sign up in the hallway if you're in person. For board members, there's two of us that are looking at at the screen. So if you are on Zoom, make sure just to use the raise hand function. We'll be quite diligent in terms of making sure that we take proper stacks or your names. And then of course, if you're in person, board members, please raise your hand. And then when we're sitting here nice and high. And for the folks who are online, the chat function is really just to alert us of things. So it's not really the space for a rich debate. We do follow parliamentary procedures. So everything that has to be said in the meeting has to be said through this microphone. So please make sure that if you do speak and maybe it's a link that you want to drop or an event or an email or something like that, that you can use the chat function for that. We also do ask for folks who are on Zoom to let us know through the chat if at any point you're having, the mic comes out of the room or you can't see things or any technical difficulties. We'll be making sure to be aware there. And then last and not least, we are all timed because so many of us are incredibly busy, rich lives. And so we want to make sure that, everybody is timed. So you get your 2 minutes to speak. We will let you know and we pass it off to the next one. We also want to make sure we hear from as many voices as possible. So that's why the 2 minutes is important. And the last one that's not on there is this is a hybrid meeting. So we do ask for everybody to use the microphone. This isn't about that I am loud and you could hear me down the hall. It is really about making sure that for our record keeping that we need to maintain, so through YouTube, for folks who are watching live, and for the minutes that somebody's gonna write after that, that we do capture everything through this microphone. Thumbs up, we all good? That makes sense to everyone? All right, I don't have, like I mentioned earlier, you can sign up for public session in the chat and as Anthony has placed. Because we don't have quorum, oh, I do have quorum. All right, great. So we're gonna do some little housekeeping. All right, so we are first, even though it's not on the screen, but tonight we're gonna adopt our agenda, our minutes from last month. We're gonna hear from some of our elected officials. So if you don't know who your elected officials are, tell them to come to general meetings because they'll always hear from them or their representatives. And then we're gonna get into some of the resolutions that we're voting on tonight and some updates from committees. Next month is the last month of CB12's meetings before a summer break. So if you wanna know what we're talking about in June, you wanna hang out towards the end, all right? And of course, any old business that folks wanna present or new business. All right. So I'm gonna call for so actually hold on. The time is 6:53. So I'm gonna call the meeting officially to order. And then I'm gonna ask if there's a motion to adopt our May minutes. I heard a motion from Isidro. Okay, that's fine. So agenda for what's the, oh yeah, because it's agenda and then minutes. Agenda for May. Is there a motion? Okay, so I have Isidro moved and second from Liz. Are there any objections? Any abstentions? Okay, hearing none, our agenda is adopted for night. Next up, we have our minutes for May. Sorry, April. So apologies. Off of what? Of Airtable? Okay. All right, there's 2 seconds. Is there anybody opposed or an abstention? Okay, hearing none. So we'll adopt April and June. Mm-hmm. I hear that. I think we'll bring that back to the office. There is a way where you can, when you get it from Airtable, you can download it. Part of the reason is that sometimes we wish they can all come in at 9 a.m. by whatever time, and so it makes it harder for staff to send multiple emails throughout the day. So we can try and troubleshoot and see if there's other ways maybe that, and let folks know how to download them directly from Airtable onto the phone at least. Mm-hmm. All right, let me stop my share because we don't need that. All right. All right. So we're going to move on to my chair report. Really, my chair report is passing the mic to folks, and I want to be able to show who might be on Zoom tonight. So I'm going to swap here. So as folks know, we have new members in the room. But that also means, and very bittersweet, that some of our all-stars are heading out of the room today. So I actually want to, whether I know some folks are online and some folks might be in person, but I do want to just pass the mic and recognize several names. So we have Chris Whitaker, who's in person. Where's Chris at? Where he went? Yeah. We got Chris. I saw Barbara on the screen at some point. Oh, here's Barbara. And who else is here? Oh man, I'm like looking for glasses. Okay, I don't see everyone else, but James isn't here. No. All right. So James Bosley, Marielle Ali, Joseph Kalinsky, and Miriam James will not be returning to the board for their next up terms. So I just kind of want to pass the mic a bit, especially to Chris, who was a new member, Barbara, who's been a long-term member, to share some, words with our folks, and we're still around. So.
I prepared a little, I'm just kidding. So I wasn't here for a long time, but I was here for a good time. I really appreciate the chance to work with you all and hopefully be a part of just making this awesome community even better. If you don't know, I'm actually headed to Albany to work for the Department of Environmental Conservation in their Climate, Air, and Energy Bureau. Thanks. After I just graduated law school. So I'm super excited for the position and so kind of excited for Albany and very, very sad to leave this community. But thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this board. And I wish you all very much luck. And I'll be rooting for you from afar in the snow. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Barbara, do you want to unmute and share some words with us?
Well, I will. This will actually be my last general meeting because in June, I won't be returning to the board. I think I've been on the board for about 10 years, and I hope that you can think that I've made a difference in the community, especially in the housing committee and public safety and parks. I certainly will miss you all. I won't be here in June because I will be in Ukraine. And I will be in Ukraine teaching English as a second language. So
Wow.
it will be, quite an experience, especially in light of the recent developments in the last couple days. So I will miss you all. Work together as a team as you have. And we're certainly, with a certain anxiety, I also know that next year, when the mandatory retirements hit, it's going to affect our community a lot, and we're all going to have to step up. So I'm sort of the first retirement, and then we're going to lose a lot of our very, very important people. So I don't know what else to say, other than we've accomplished a lot, and we'll go forward. And I'll miss you, and I hope you'll miss me. So I guess that's it.
right. Thank you, Barbara. Wow. June. June. Yeah, that we have so much talent on CB12, and I think part of the words of encouragement, so many fascinating lives and experiences and perspectives. And I think what we hope to foster more and more is bridge some more of those connections. We're really an amazing community geographically, and this I think is a great reflection of that. And so next up, I actually just, if folks are able to grab the mic, our new members. I know I didn't give y'all a heads up, but if you would like to come on up, introduce yourself, maybe one thing that you're looking forward to in terms of community board service. And you can come and go. Yeah, come. You can all come up and we'll make a little line. How about that? Oh, sorry. I know it's so tight in this room sometimes. Start here and then keep it pushing. Yeah. Or if you want to actually go down through here, just so it's a little less crowded. No. I thought those were the old days, Jim. Those were the old days. Ow. Right on, my sister. All right, your turn.
Hi, I'm Eitan Steinbaum, new member of CB12, really excited to be here and do what I can to help the community. I'm part of the Yeshiva University and Jewish community in Washington Heights, and I hope to help bridge the gap between that community and all the other communities here, and I'm just really looking forward to it. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stefan de Jesus, he, him pronouns. Born in Washington Heights. I was raised in Miami, but came back for college, stayed for grad school, and here I am. I live here again. We have some pretty deep ties here. My father was raised here. My grandmother has lived here for 40 years almost. So it's really a really dear neighborhood in the city for me. Really excited to just get to work with everyone and meet everyone and hopefully make a difference.
Hi, I'm Ty Fujimura. I live on 177th Street. I grew up in the city. I fell in love with it as a kid, and I want to make the city an amazing place to live for my kids. So really excited to be here and to work with you all to support this great community. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ann Megas, new to the community board, but not new to Washington Heights, the very southern end of it. And I live in a building that's very active and very community oriented. We even boast Sean Abreu, who lives in my building. And I'm really looking forward to learning a lot from all of you and seeing how I can help make this community even better. Thanks.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Lisette Tavares. I was born and raised in Washington Heights. I am extremely proud and passionate about the roots and morals and values it's given me, and raised me to be. So therefore, I took the step to join you all and you here today and to be part of hopefully the help and not changes because I think we're great already, but I think we can be so much better. And that's what made me join you all here today. And I'm passionate about the next steps forward.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Melissa Sims, and I've lived uptown, specifically in Inwood, for about the past 5 years. And as a native New Yorker, I think it's just being uptown, Inwood, Washington Heights. It's the most community I've ever known in New York, and I'm just looking forward to being a part of it and hoping to make a difference. And I'm an attorney by trade, and I'm just hoping to get to know everyone and make a difference in the community more.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Andrea Entrago, and I live and work in the community. I just moved here about a year ago, and I'm looking forward to actively working on making a change in the community. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm John Benitez. I was born and raised in the community. The main reason why I'm here is to be part of the change. I think now how politics are going, more people should be joining the membership and be part of the cause. And I hope to meet you all one-on-one and get to know each other better.
Good evening. My name is Diogenes Montano. Born and raised in this community. I've also been fortunate to found and direct a nonprofit youth program, and I joined the community board because I wanted to find more ways to impact the community. So I'm looking forward to working with everyone here. Sports and health in the city.
Dang. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. We got to hear a little bit more. Obviously, as time goes on, we'll get to understand a little bit more and connect and introduce all of our members. Before I pass the mic to our district manager, Ebenezer Smith, I just wanted to remind all of our board members that have been around for the last few months. Our annual survey is still up and out. I know there's a few little hiccups, but don't let that stop you from completing it. We're going to be making those tweaks in the next week or so. So just remember to keep filling out our survey. We're going to discuss that at the next exec meeting, hopefully. And Uptown Tours. So we went to the Inwood Library. As folks know, it's raining. One of our members got their library card. I'm not going to say who, but if you don't have a library card, in June 18th on Wednesday, we're going to the Fort Washington Library. That newly renovated, just opened, I want to say, what, like 2 months ago, maybe 3 tops. So if you haven't checked it out, I'm going to send out the party full invite. And for folks, it's a great way to get a tour, get your library card. And we really learned so much of the services at, where is she? I saw her come in. At the Inwood Library, like STEAM kits that you can check out, and so many really great, really tailored and niche classes that aren't common in many library spaces. And even just a quiet space, right, for the toddlers. And it's really just amazing, a lot of the thoughtfulness and the design and the acoustics that went into the Inwood Library. So if you haven't checked it out, we definitely encourage you to do that. All right, I'm gonna pass off the mic now.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Always it's a pleasure being here as your district manager and do my report before you. Before I go straight to my report, I just want to inform or share with you that Charles Rango passed away yesterday, the day before yesterday, I believe, Memorial Day. Charles Rango was a strong leader in our community. He was our congressman for many, many, many years. I remember the first time I saw him at Coogan Restaurant, and I even was dreaming to be part of the community board. And I remember he was saying hello to everybody. He passed by me, and he said hello to somebody else. I said, wow, well, he ignored me. But then he turned around, and he shook my hand. How you doing, brother? From that day, I had a great admiration for him. I thought he ignored me, but he not. So he turned around and he shook my hand and said, hi, brother. So we want to recognize his leadership. We want to recognize his pass away. And I would like to invite everyone to have a moment of silence on his memory. Thank you very much. The first on my report is welcome the new board members, 9 new board members, very young, and with all the desire to serve. I really congratulate you that you decide to serve your community through Community Board 12 Manhattan. You will never repent. You're gonna learn a lot here. You're gonna learn from Wayne, from Steve, from Liz Reader. You know, they are the experienced guys here. Oh, also Jim Berlin here. You're gonna learn a lot from those guys. You see, he's a very bright guy, very bright guy. So welcome on board. I really appreciate that. I sent you an email, give you welcome, and suggesting you to create a new email with saying CB at Gmail, say something, but make sure that you have your name there. So one of you send me a very broad email, CB12 Manhattan. I need your name to make sure that it's you at CB12, okay? Because that general email could be confused from the office and that. If you have any question, I am a phone call away. You just need to call me any question, no matter if you don't think it's important question, if you have a doubt or you need a question, it's important for us, more than happy to answer the question. Our website has a lot of information that you can look through. And we're going to be organizing very soon for next month, I believe, a new member orientation. And this is a very fun meeting because we have food and we can meet each other one-on-one and share the story and everything. So let me go down to the second item on my agenda. 179th Street Synagogue. You remember we have for this issue in front of this synagogue for many months, I would say years, that homeless people are using the front of the synagogue to shoot and use heroin and do drugs, et cetera, et cetera. Finally, after many years advocating, there is a new fence covering the facade of that building, so people, they cannot use that entrance anymore to be doing what they were doing. That probably created a new problem that the garbage is going to be thrown over the fence, but at least we're not going to have the people hanging in there. We continue working with that item, with that issue during the district service cabinet meeting. The second item that I have on my agenda to report is the Radio Hotel parking garage. I observed that the Radio Hotel parking garage was parking car on the sidewalk, on the street, taking away parking from the community, blocking fire hydrants, and also no standing anytime zone. I noticed that for a few days at the district service cabinet meeting this month. I brought this issue to the police department, to consumer affairs, and Department of Transportation, and they act very quickly. This morning when I drove by, I didn't see the cars in the way I used to see. Maybe one car was parked on the sidewalk, and no cars were parked in front of the no standing anytime zone. And there is a new signal on 181st Street and Amsterdam Avenue. That signal we requested when the new bus zone came into effect like 3 years ago, because the cars coming from the Bronx, they cannot go straight, only for one Bronx. They need to make a left turn or a right turn. So I requested that we should have the two lanes, the middle lanes and the left lane, make a turn to the left from the bridge coming to Manhattan. And finally, that new signal was implemented, was installed a few weeks ago. Very happy to do that. Now we have a new problem because the new signal, they are not in sync with the old signal, and I'm advocating now, I'm working to make sure that we have all the signals in sync. And finally, the Real ID requirement is here, is implemented, was implemented on May 7. What that means that you need to have a Real ID in order to board a plane to travel locally. If you don't have a Real ID, you will need to use your passport. If you don't have it, you cannot use your driver license to travel internally, and you need to use your passport. But you can still renew your driver license and make sure that this has a Real ID. Thank you very much. God bless you. This is the end of my report.
Awesome. Thank you, Ebenezer. Yes. Yeah, we'll do that in a second. Tanisha, you have your hand up?
Yes, Ebenezer, can you remind people what a real ID looks like? Thank you.
Can you repeat the question? What a real, it looks like your regular driver license, but I have a little star on the circle. I don't see if I can put it on the camera here. But you don't have a real ID here, Liz. No, you don't. No, you need to have a star. He said, what is the flag? I don't see oh, down there. Oh, okay.
A star or a
My
flag?
driver license is over here. Okay, you need to have in your driver license either a star, a black star with a circle, within a circle, or the American flag. You can have it either on the top right corner of your driver license, like I have, or like Elise has it on the bottom left right corner of the ID. That's what it looks. It's a driver license, regular driver license with a star or with the flag when it's in hands. That means that you are American citizen as well. Any other question?
Thank you, Ebenezer.
Thank you.
Yes, Jim. Yes, you need the mic.
In addition to a passport, you can also get, when you apply for a passport card, which gets you on a plane also. It won't act as a passport in a foreign country, but it will get you on a plane.
Great PSA moment. All right, so we're gonna move on to report updates from our elected officials and their representatives. I see two in the room. One's gonna trickle in. We're gonna go with who gets here the early bird. Noah from Jamani, our public advocate. Noah Coy from Jamani Williams, our public advocate's office. Yes, for folks, you'll have to come on down. And then we're gonna, after Noah, it'll be you, Edgar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's a long walk down here. I'm getting used to the space a little bit. Yeah, sounds good. So good evening. Hope everyone's doing well. So I just have a series of updates that I'm going to try to give in chronological order. So starting on May 6th, at a hearing of the Committee on Consumer and Worker Protection, the public advocate highlighted the important need for assisting street vendors throughout the city and pushed to pass his legislation creating a division within the Department of Small Business Services, or SBS for short, to assist these smallest businesses. And the legislation is called Intro 408, under which a newly created division under SBS would provide resources for street vendors and facilitate important educational and training programs on safe vending. Just going on to the next update. On May 9th, the public advocate introduced another bill and discussed the bill that would allow individuals with disabilities to find work in small businesses, with those companies receiving the appropriate training they need. So he spoke about this bill, which is called Intro 0639, at a joint hearing of the Committees on Civil and Human Rights and Small Business. So Intro 0639 would require that the Department of Small Business Services provide training and information to small businesses about how to make workplaces more accessible and inclusive for workers with disabilities, to provide resources and organizations that can help small businesses increase accessibility and provide accommodations and hire workers with disabilities. So the third update was on Monday, May 19th, I believe. The public advocate appeared before the NYC Commission to Strengthen Local Democracy Charter Revision Commission at a public hearing to discuss his proposed amendments to the charter in this cycle. And he proposed two amendments for the public advocate's office specifically. The first one would be to grant the role full subpoena power, thus better allowing it to fulfill its duties as mandated and helping to avoid lengthy and expensive lawsuits to receive information, which a city should readily share between governing partners. And the second recommendation was for charter clarification that would codify greater standing to sue on behalf of the residents of New York City. And then the last update is today, the public advocate rode through all 5 boroughs. He took kind of like a transit tour on a range of different public transportation modes to speak with New Yorkers about the improvements and investments they want to see made in public transportation, the impact of the early implementation of congestion pricing, and the potential harm of funding cuts that the Trump administration is threatening potentially tomorrow. And you heard directly from strap hangers about the MTA investments most important to their commutes and communities. And then as always, any New Yorker who's experiencing issues with city agencies can reach out to our office by contacting gethelp@advocate.nyc.gov or calling our office's hotline at 212-669-7250. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them. Yeah. Okay.
On the street vending bill, does the public advocate support giving proportional number of licenses to street vendors that have been on the heights for God knows how long? And as you know, there's a cap. So I will hope that there'll be equal opportunity for our street vendors to have a chance to get a license.
Thank you for that question. That's a great question. I can't speak on the street vendors in Washington Heights and Inwood specifically, but I'd be more than happy to get more information on the street, like his plans for the street vendors in our community and share it at next month's meeting. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so the bill is intro. So there's two bills. I'm sorry, just give me 1 second. I have like a bunch of pieces of paper up here. So the bill for creating the division within SBS who assists street vendors is intro 0408. And it was just introduced, I think it was introduced actually last year in 2024. But I guess it's gaining traction recently. And then there's a second bill, which is, I'm forgetting, I have a bunch of pieces of paper up here, apologies. Intro 0639, that's the bill that would require SBS to provide training and information to small businesses about how to make workplaces more accessible and inclusive to people with disabilities. Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Well, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for your time. And last but not least, go Knicks.
All right. Oh, Edgar, come on up. And then I think that covers it for in person because you're last. And then we'll switch to Zoom for folks.
Chair, this is
Good
Indiana.
evening, CB12. My name is Edgar Tavares.
So sorry, Indiana. What was that?
That's okay. I just wanted to make one comment to the representative from the Public Advocate's Office. If there's anything that we can do to support the bill about accessibility, to please let us know, because I know that, I would love to be able to get into more small businesses in our community. And I also know that it's a very big expense for them, and there's a lot of red tape and a lot for them to go through. So if there's anything we can do to support a bill that would then support our small businesses so that they can enhance accessibility, I'd love to hear like action items from them. Thank you.
Hi, so good evening, CB12. My name is Edgar Tavares from State Senator Robert Jackson's office. As we now know, even though it took quite a while, the state budget has been passed. One of the bills that is advancing has to do with this exact moment, and it's called the People's Budget and Democratic Balance Act, which is Senate Bill S945. And it has to do with a constitutional amendment to return balance and transparency and democratic power to our state budget process in order to no longer keep seeing the state budget being held up by legislations that are not being presented in the public hearing and being debated by members of the legislative body, and then as continue seeing these delays that we've been seeing over the past few terms or years having to do with the state budget. We also gave the honor of the New York State Senate Women of Distinction Award, one of them going to Maria Lizardo, who is also the executive director of NEMIC. Yes. As we know, Nemec has done a lot of great work for a long time, and we just wanted to make sure we honored her. Another thing is the senator has been working at trying to fix Tier 6. In this regard, Tier 6 is also impacting different city workers, including firefighters. So one of the things that especially when we're talking about new firefighters who are on the force, they end up on Tier 6. And so again, like the senator said, this is not about benefits, it's about broken promises, and it's about applying an economic form of justice that belongs to all workers. Another thing, of course, also we want to highlight the fact that we are still holding our immigration clinic with the Northern Manhattan Coalition for Immigrant Rights. These are by appointment only. You have to call our office at 212-544-0173 in order to get an appointment. And of course, the tenants' rights clinics with Met Council continue every month, as we have 2 new ones happening in June 10th and the 24th. The last thing that I want to say is a message that the senator wanted to get across, having to do with Columbia Presbyterian and, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find it right now. Okay, here we are. Am I done? Can I just?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So the statement that the senator is putting along is having to do that he strongly condemns New York Presbyterian's decision to address past wrongdoing by inflicting new harm, this time on the very healthcare workers and patients who had no part in it, punishing an entire workforce and weakening care for our communities in response to one individual's misconduct is not just misguided, it's dangerous. At a moment when the healthcare system is already under severe strain and bracing for massive federal cuts, New Yorkers cannot afford more job losses or fewer services. Now is the time to invest in our healthcare infrastructure, not dismantle it. We should be strengthening care, protecting workers, and demanding accountability in ways that restore trust and promote healing and not deepen the wounds. That's it. Right, any questions? So they take place on 5030 Broadway, but not, they're in the CUNY entrance of the building. So they're right next on the right-hand side of the entrance, of the main entrance. Oh, shit.
I got you. Oh, right here.
That's it?
Yeah, one more hand.
What was the action that Columbia Presbyterian took that Jackson was objecting to?
The firing of workers.
We'll hear more about it.
You're going to hear a lot about it tonight.
They're strong. All right. Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna switch real quick to Zoom. So we're going to go with Councilmember Carmen De La Rosa's office. James Burke, if you're ready. Yes. Oh, okay. He's repping.
Hi, everybody. Hope you all are doing well, and great to be with you here virtually. Hopefully next month I'll be able to join in person. If you need me to speak louder or slower, just someone interrupt me, but I'll try to be brief here. I'm James. I'm with Councilwoman Carmen De La Rosa's office. First and foremost, the Councilwoman would like to thank all the existing community board members, those who are leaving, and thank them for their service, and also welcome the new ones. I'll put my email in the chat and my cell phone. So for the new members, if you ever need anything from our office, we're easy to find. There's a public website, but I'll give you my direct contact number in case you need it. I'd also like to thank Ebenezer for acknowledging the passing of Charles Rangel. Congressman Rangel is a champion for the community. Councilmember De La Rosa and many others, are very saddened by the loss, and just want to also acknowledge that at the start of the update from the councilwoman. So thank you, Ebenezer, for doing that. So as many of you know, this is a very busy time at the council. The budget is due July 1st. So obviously we walk and chew gum. We're doing legislative work, we're doing community work, but for the next month or so, we're really going to be locked in on the city budget. The council member is fighting hard for sanitation services, for education funding, for protection for housing and tenants. There's a range of priorities that Carmen is fighting for at the macro level, and then obviously at the local level with her discretionary funds as well, trying to bring as much resources and funding back into the district. So right now, like I said, the main focus is the New York City budget. And then obviously, as you all know as well, municipal elections are coming up. Early voting begins on the 14th, and the primary is on June 24th. So all in all, it's a pretty busy time at the council. In terms of legislation, the councilwoman is passing 2 bills this week, which we're very excited about. As the labor chair, that's, all things worker rights is very important to the councilwoman. And also want to acknowledge Nizna in the House. Carmen stands with Nizna all the time. Whenever Nizna needs us, we're there. So thank you all for attending today. The council member will definitely be in touch, and we continue to talk very, very closely with leadership at Nizna for how we can be supportive of your struggle. But in terms of legislation, we're passing 2 bills this week. One is regarding boiler operating engineers. So it's a pretty complicated thing, but basically we need more of these engineers to increase housing and get inspections faster. So to expedite this, so we can hire more of these engineers, we're passing a law which would count the apprenticeship time that a worker does towards their practical experience. So by counting the apprenticeship time, we can hire more people to do boiler inspections and get more engineers on the job. So that's something we're going to be passing this week. Another one we're passing, which is a resolution. So that's, as very important as well, but it's a resolution in support of the Living Wage for Musicians Act in the US Congress. So, people talk a lot about, Uber and Lyft and all of these sort of apps, and but we also got to think about other things like music, and we all listen to Spotify or some sort of streaming platform. But these artists, these musicians, they live in our community, they live in the city, and we need to make sure that they're getting fair pay as well for the streaming services, for the for the work that they do, for the art that they do. And these streaming services need to do a better job of paying a living wage. So that's 2 legislative pieces that the councilwoman is going to be passing this week. For community affairs, obviously affordable housing is top priority for the councilwoman. Applications for the Miramar apartment lottery close next week on June 2nd. If you know anyone who wants to apply, if you yourself wants to apply and you have never done it before, you need help, someone needs assistance, have them come to our district office. We're very experienced as an office with things like the lottery, the housing lottery, and we're happy to help anyone fill out their application. As well, we recently...
Sorry, that was your time, so I don't know if you want to put a little bow on that last point.
Okay, I'll skip
Yeah,
into
because you have a
something...
question in the room too.
Okay, there's so many things to say, but one thing that we do that's really, really fun, we're having our Pride event on June 18th on the High Bridge, 2 to 6. I highly recommend you all come. I think this is one of the best events we do. There's so many more things I could say, but I'll choose that one as my last one. Sorry for going over my time.
It's all good. If we could get a mic pass to OC, we do have a question for you. Thank you, Anthony.
Hi, my question is Carmen going to support the city council grant for $1.5 million for spay neuter and $1 million for pet food pantry for lower income New Yorkers?
Do you have the number for you said the first one was a budget, or was it a legislative ask? I apologize, I missed the first part.
It was, there was a hearing, I believe it was last Thursday, at the, I forgot which committee is it, at City Council.
Mm-hmm.
And the proposal is to have a considerable grant for $1.5 million for spay neuter for dogs and cats
Okay.
for low-income New Yorkers, and also food pantry, to avoid, animal abandonment. It's a
I will
serious issue in
definitely-
New York City.
Thank you for asking, and I will follow up with the councilwoman and get a reply back quickly, and hopefully by the end of this week have a response, and I can maybe send that response to Kathy if that's the way to transfer that information.
Yeah, or to the office. All right, before we go to our next speaker, and this I was actually gonna say for the new announcements, the Hybridge event is an event that CB12 does co-sponsor. Last month, we were talking about CB12 members and our outreach engagement, so letting more and more New Yorkers be familiar with community boards. So we have like a mini ambassadors program. There are a lot of members who are interested in tabling and promoting community boards, especially with our last meeting. So this is one of those opportunities. So if you're in the room or online and you do want to not like go as a CB12 member and table that day, definitely just come up to me after and we can kind of coordinate offline. Okay, cool. Thank you, James, and another go Knicks.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
All right, bye. All right, and last and certainly not least is Peter from Assemblymember Manny de los Santos' office.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me this evening, and welcome to all the new members. I'm also relatively new to all this work, so I look forward to meeting all of you and working together. I'll keep it brief. As Edgar mentioned, the budget has finally been passed. Some quick highlights that are relevant to the district is $80 million was secured for Michelama repairs and upgrades, which is something we'll be working, specifically to bring that money to our district. There was the creation of the $50 million pilot program for housing access voucher programs for homelessness prevention, and also an additional $20 million for supportive housing for the elderly. And specifically in the area of Michelama, the Assembly member introduced the Michelama Affordability and Protection Act, which is bill number A08588, which is an opportunity to bring funding access to upgrade to energy efficiency, to bring energy efficiency upgrades to the Michelama buildings, of which there are a great number in our district, and also provides for tenant protections from excessive rent hikes, also going forward at those Michelama housing developments within our district. I'll drop my email, my contact information if anybody wants to follow up with some questions, legislative acts. I'll also be attending all of the various subcommittee, meetings with specific updates regarding each of those areas. And we also have a housing rights clinic with Vet Council that'll be on June 5th. I'll circulate the flyer for that as soon as it's created. And we will also be doing a number of cleanups in parks and areas across the district, which I will also circulate as soon as those flyers and dates are finalized and confirmed. But if anybody has any questions, I'd love to hear them. Thank you.
Oh, we got two. Go ahead, Alexis.
For the housing rights clinic, you said that was on June 6th,
Sorry, June 5th, June 5.
June 5th, and where will it be and what time?
That will be, it just got finalized today. It will be 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. in the community room at 210 Sherman Avenue, which is where our offices are. There's an adjoining community room. So we will be circulating, all that information as soon as we draft a flyer.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll see some.
You mentioned Local Law 97, if I'm not mistaken. Are there any plans to have workshops for landlord and co-op boards or condos in our district in regards to Local Law 97, compliance with Local Law 84 and 88?
Yes, so that is actually something I've been discussing with Con Edison about, and also some other community partners, how we can develop a curriculum and some, outreach information, and then potentially set up some actual in-person, clinics or workshops so that folks can learn how to update and upgrade their electrical and their overall their green energy upgrades for buildings. So it's something that's in development. It isn't yet final or anywhere near in the field just yet, but it is something that we are working on.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Peter. With that last question, that does wrap up our, no, that doesn't, my fault. Wow. I forget that we always have, and I'm not gonna say the best because, everybody's the best. But we do have Marielle de la Cruz from our Manhattan Borough President's Office. No, whichever, it obstructs the cameras.
Good evening, everyone. And I've expressed before, for those that are new, that I like standing ovations, but I will take this for now. All right, I know people are tired, it's late. My name is Maria de la Cruz. I'm here representing Borough President Mark Levine. I'm the Events and Partnerships Director. Porfirio Figueroa is your normal liaison, so I apologize if you don't see me all the time, and it's unfortunate because I think I would be your favorite if you were to deal with me all the time. Watch it. Okay, good. So I just wanted to make a few quick announcements. We would like to welcome all returning members and new members for CB12 that have been appointed CB12. That includes, and I'm going to butcher some names, so feel free to correct me, okay? Because I haven't met a lot of you yet. So welcome to Andrea. Yes, okay. I'll keep it by first name basis, like we're friends already, okay? And Diogenes, John, Lizette, Melissa, Stephen or Stefan, and I apologize. Stefan, Leslie, and Tanya. So thank you so much for joining the CB12 family. It is going to be an exciting time for you all. Very short meetings usually. Thank you. Yeah. But you will get to know a lot more about the community, but also to have a deep impact. And we deeply appreciate your time, as well as those that have been on the community board for quite some time. So just 2 or 3 quick announcements. We will have the Department of Buildings in our office on Wednesday, June 25th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Our second office is located on 431 West 125th Street. This is for constituents who may have questions or issues, such as issues with 301 complaints, scaffolding, as you know, that's one of our favorite topics, elevators, construction fines, and inspection questions. We will also be giving an update to Kathy and Ebenezer about our Pride event. We'll have a Pride event in June, but we don't have all of the details yet. But we are partnering with Councilmember De La Rosa, Councilmember Stevens, CB12 on the Pride Ball. So that's June 18th. I don't know if James said the date. And it starts around 2 o'clock. It is a very fun time on the High Bridge. So if you have not been to the High Bridge, that is a perfect time to do so. We are also co-sponsoring the NOMA Art Stroll. So there are a few people here that hopefully will talk about it later on, but it's a bunch of activities regarding the arts in our district, and some people on the community board are participants of that. Term limits, information about maximum term limits is now available on our website. To review, please visit the Manhattan BP website, resources, community boards, choose your board on Airtable, and it gives you all of that information. And we had I think I mentioned it last month, we had a successful AAPI event in which we honored, how many women? 6 members of the community that have contributed a lot to New York City. And like I said, my name is Maria. There's so much more going on, but I will leave it there. Actually, one more thing. We have an event, a cleanup, but it is also in East Harlem on Saturday, either at 10 a.m. or 12 p.m. So if folks have any questions for me, I will be here for some of the meeting. And thank you so much for being diligent and paying attention. And thank you. That's it. Bye.
All right, so we are now going to move on to the public session. We did have one sign up online from John Saltos, but I no longer see him. So John, if you hear this, you've changed your name, just write in the Q&A. With that, we're going to move to the in-person public session. starting with, and I'm going to queue up the first three speakers. So if you hear your name, please come down to the bottom of the steps over here on my left. First is Danita Nichols from Inwood Library, talking about summer in the library, followed by Rhonda Middleton from NISNA, and Diana Nunez from NISNA. And as a reminder, each speaker has 2 minutes. So when you hear the chimes go off, that means it's your time. Danita, you could step up.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. I'm Danita Nichols from Inwood Library. That's 4790 Broadway. I'm also representing Fort Washington Library, 535 West 179th, and Washington Heights Library, 1000 St. Nicholas Avenue. And summer is almost here. So our libraries are kicking off the summer of activities, summer in the library. So I just brought a sampler of things for you for all ages. In Inwood and Washington Heights Library, there's going to be a Wow Bubble dancing party, both different for children to kick off their summer activities. And Fort Washington Library. Washington Heights is having karaoke for teens. It is giveaways, snacks, important for teens, and karaoke. So that should be a lot of fun. For grown-ups, which we're all grown-ups in the room, you have not been left out, or more or less. you are there. There is going to be a summer reading adventure. I brought a couple of the things about it at Inwood Library from the National Book Foundation. With one of the prizes is tickets to the National Book Awards ceremony, which is unfortunately in New York City, so it's not as much as a travel, but it should still be fun. So that's one of the big prizes. So anytime you come into Inwood Library, and Fort Washington Library is doing an adult summer reading challenge. And finally, since it's that time of year you want to be outside, Inwood Library is collaborating with the Ring Garden at Riverside and Dykeman to do an outside summer reading kickoff event, June 26th. Manny de los Santos is going to be there, I believe, with a resource fair. And that's my time. So I have some stuff here, and have a good rest of the evening. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Danita. Our next speaker is Rhonda Middleton from NISNA, speaking about the New York Presbyterian layoffs. You have 2 minutes.
Hi, good night, Community Board 12. Thank you for having us. I was a previous member. I lived in Inwood, so I need to be here to let you guys know what's going on. So my name is Rhonda Middleton Roches, and I have been working at NYP for almost 6 years. I recently moved to the clinical float pool for the ACNs. However, I've been working in the family medicine clinical ACN for this entire time. NISNA nurses at NY Presbyterian were deeply disappointed to hear about the plans to lay off nurses through a video town hall. After pushing the hospital for details, NISNA learned that 70 nurses will be laid off at NYP Columbia, NYP Brooklyn Methodist Hospital, and NYP Hudson Valley Hospital. The majority of layoffs will happen at NYP Columbia here in Washington Heights. The palliative care unit and the children's hospital will be especially hard hit. It is shameful that the hospital plans to cut care to children. This will harm the communities we serve now and into the future. While my units were not affected by these cuts, I've seen NYP routinely putting profits before patient. Too many units are understaffed. We need more nurses instead of less nurses. Yet NYP seems to be building more buildings while freezing position and cutting positions. We know the hospital can afford to keep these nurses. It's the wealthiest hospital in Exactly. Wealthiest hospital system in New York City and one of the most financially stable in the entire country. Its most recent financials show that it is certainly not struggling. If they actually need to cut costs, they'd look at their C-suite compensation, not cut the nurses who are for patients. These cuts impact other frontline caregivers as well as healthcare workers in the Hudson Valley and Brooklyn. We are concerned about the impact on patient care throughout NYP system. We are demanding that NYP puts its patients over profits. We demand financial transparency, a reversal of cuts that impact patient care, and guaranteed placement for nurses in open position. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rhonda. Before we move on to the next speaker, I just want to queue up the next three speakers over here to the left. So those are Michaela Donahue, Jamirna Alkabar, and Arlene. I'm sorry, I can't make out your last name, but Arlene, if you can also queue up over here to my left. Next is Diana Nunez. Oh, Steve, you have a question for this speaker? Just for Zoom folks, Steve Simon asked, did the hospital state when these layoffs are going to take effect?
Yes, they gave the nurses and nurse practitioner notice, and the first set, it is June 20th, and we actually have an affected nurse practitioner right here speaking. Yes, Diana. Yes. And please sign up, fill up the QR code. Thank you. I'll hand it to the affected nurse practitioner, Diana.
Hi, good evening. My name is Diana Nunez. I'm a nurse practitioner at New York Presbyterian Morgan Stanley Children's Hospital. And a couple of weeks ago, a few days after Nurses Week was done, I received a layoff notice from New York Presbyterian. I speak to you tonight not only as, I'm so sorry, not only as a healthcare professional, but also as a devoted member of this community. As one of the 18 nurse practitioners whose positions were eliminated, I urge you to stand with us as we demand that New York Presbyterian put patients before profits and reverse the cuts which will negatively impact our patient care. For nearly 3 years, I had the honor of serving the Pediatric Progressive Care Unit, where I cared for children with complex and often life-threatening conditions. In this role, I provided not only critical clinical care, but also emotional support and continuity to the families navigating the most difficult moments of their lives. It was a position that demanded expertise, collaboration, compassion, and resilience. And it was a role I was proud to fulfill every single day. Now, as the wealthiest hospital system in New York City seeks to cut costs, it's transitioning from a nurse practitioner model to a resident-run model. These workforce reductions come at a time where the needs for pediatric healthcare are rising, not falling. The decisions to remove experienced full-time nurse practitioners from this unit not only impacts the careers of those affected, it compromises the very quality and continuity of care that our patients and families rely on. This isn't just about staffing, it's about outcomes. Under the steady presence of our NP team, the Pediatric Progressive Care Unit was recently honored with a 2024 Patient Experience Award, a recognition that reflects years of the patient-centered care, trust, and consistent clinical excellence. If they actually need to cut costs, they should look at the salaries of the 30 executives that make over $1 million instead of the nurse practitioners. NYP CEO Steve Corwin's compensation, approximately $14.6 million a year, could save a lot of jobs and improve the health outcomes of our patients. If you find this unacceptable as I do, I urge you to stand with us, to advocate for the reinstatement of these essential roles and to support the preservation of high quality, consistent, and compassionate pediatric care in our neighborhood. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your support. Thank you. And please, oh yeah, thank you. And please fill out the surveys. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Michaela Donahue. Michaela? Where's Michaela Donahue? Okay, we're gonna move on to the next speaker then. So that is Jamirna Alkaber, speaking about rent increases.
All right. Recently, the Eric Adams appointed Rent Guidelines Board proposed a rent increase for 2.4 million New Yorkers. During this administration, the rent has increased 3 times already. A large number of people that will be affected by this preliminary vote are residents of Washington Heights and Inwood. Majority of people in this district are tenants and dedicate 50% or more of their annual income towards rent. Our elected officials are fully aware of that. A book amount of the issues that come into their offices day to day are community members seeking help with housing or issues with their landlords. Recognizing that, we have elected officials like Rani de los Santos and Adriano Espaillat telling us to vote Cuomo for mayor. Let's not forget how Cuomo cut $65 million from a rental assistance program that helped exiting city homeless shelters, causing homelessness to spike. And we see those effects here. Seriously, it just takes the 1 train on 168th Street. You'll see it there. Their profit is our suffering. While rent increased, landlords' income increased by 12%. Let's not forget that aside from the rent going up, so did the expense of groceries and our daily needs. Donors in real estate have contributed $2.8 million to Cuomo's campaign. He is aligned to the industries that are directly responsible for raising our rent. Interestingly enough, rape cases and sexual assault-related crimes in our districts have increased. Yet we have our elected officials telling us to vote for someone who literally resigned due to sexual harassment. So then afterwards, 60 million of our tax dollars went to silence his accusers. That's a shame. Let's not forget how Cuomo backed the IDC. Yeah, our elected officials dragged former Senator Marisol Alcantara for her allegiance. Here are some of our community needs whose funds were cut by Cuomo. Our public schools, Medicaid during the pandemic, public libraries, the MTA, CUNY, just to name a few. I'll leave our elected officials with a question. If Trump does it, it's bad, but if Cuomo does it, it's good?
Before we move on to the next speaker, I just want to cue the last 3 speakers. So following Arlene is Liz Ritter, followed by Dr. Gary Adam, followed by Alexis Marnell. If you heard your name, please queue up to the front of the room. Our next speaker is Arlene, and you'll be speaking about jazz programming. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for having me here tonight. I'm Arlene Rodriguez, a Senior Program Manager for Jazz Power Initiative. We are a nonprofit organization that is uptown-based with the mission of transforming life through jazz, arts education, and community performances. Luckily, thanks to our different supporters, we have our programming servicing the community for free or low cost. For this fiscal year, it's almost finishing. We will have still a lot of programming that we would love to share with you guys. First of all, we have our audition for our core program of after school. This is for 5th to 12th graders, where they get to be trained in singing, acting, and movement of jazz. This is totally free. It's a year-round program. Program is free, $50 just for registration. So the idea is for families that have their kids that already know that they want to be singers or actors. You don't have to go way downtown to get access to high quality programming. You have it here, right here in Uptown, hopefully with us. So that's our audition dates. Our current kids have their performances coming up. It's called Message from Saturn. This is going to be on June 10th, a Tuesday, in the Love It Your Theater in Lehman College. So please pass by. We also, as I mentioned, besides doing arts education program, we also do community performances, and we have our festival. It's going to be our 3rd year in Inwood Hill Park. It's called Intergenerational Jazz Power Festival, totally free in Pat's Lawn. That's going to be Saturday, June 14, from 4 to 8. And we have Coco Mama there, James Soller, Saw Jr. with Dr. E, and also Annette Aguilar and Bean Loco. That's going to be amazing. In the size of arts education, but now for the adults, we have Jazz Power Institute, which is a 2-day training for teachers who want to learn how to implement jazz techniques into their teaching. It's going to be totally free, and for teachers that completed 2 days, they get free CTLE credits. And last but not least, and yes, this is why I'm very tired in my work, we have Latin Jazz in the Heights. This is a special collaboration that we have with Cloth, Community Likes of Washington Heights. We're going to bring to Plaza Las Américas 2 amazing concerts. One is with Luisito Quintero and Third Element All-Stars, Grammy nominee and award winner, Luisito Quintero, and also Lulada Club. That's going to be on Saturday, June 21st and Saturday, June 28th. And I'll leave some flyers in the table in the front. Thank you so much.
You have a quick question.
Yeah, where are the auditions being held?
Auditions are going to be held in 5030 Broadway, Suite 645. And we have here different audition dates. That's June 19th. There's Thursdays, June 19 and 26 from 5 to 7. And then Saturdays, June 21st and 28th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Liz Ritter from Up Theater.
Hi. I am on the board of Up Theater. You heard from me last month that we had an event honoring Fort Washington Collegiate Church. There have been some pretty sad developments on that. I want to give you a little information about that and then make a request to the board. So Fort Washington, the Collegiate Church is the oldest corporation in these United States. It was formed in 1680. It's older than the country. There are 4 churches that make up the Collegiate Church, 3 of which are downtown and are wealthier, largely white churches, and the 4th of which is beloved Fort Washington Collegiate Church, which is largely Black and brown folks. Lots of outreach to the community, many, many, many different kinds of community programming. I know you've heard about all of that previously last month, and also in January of 2023, when there was the first scare about that church closing. There was a little bit of extra time given to the church to try and become financially independent and to try and find a tenant who would pay $800,000 a year to rent space in that church. They actually were successful in bringing in some tenants, one of which unfortunately lost its funding and was not able to stay there and has moved. And so now what the larger consistory is doing is forcing the church to close so that they can take the rental income that some of the tenants who still have leases that cannot be broken. Instead of that revenue going to the local church, it's going to go to the consistory, and then they'll shut it down, get into a long-term lease with, I don't know, whoever is the highest bidder, so that the 3 churches and the larger corporate structure can get all the money, not go to Fort Washington Collegiate. My request on behalf of Up Theater Company is if the board can pass a resolution supporting FWCC and demonstrating the kind of community support that we offered to them verbally, but not through a reso, in January of 2023. And we can do that under new business, I hope. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to be clear, the reason why Up Theater has a dog in this fight is we rent space there to produce, wait for it, theater.
That's helpful. Thank you. Our next speaker is Dr. Gary Adam, speaking about mental health. You have 2 minutes.
If you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, you have a moral obligation to do something about it. Profit over people seems to be the theme. Why would a community board not vote to open up what was meant to be a community center? There are people in this room that voted for a resolution. The resolution is dated for the new members. The date is June 1st, 2021. I met with the Comptroller's office a few months ago, and I found out that there was a report from the Comptroller's office that this community board does not conduct public hearings. There's an investigation. You were actually one of the votes. You voted to investigate. So this is the resolution. The resolution that was passed on June 1st, 2021 is to investigate the New York City Fort Washington Armory. GDS, I'm the founder of GDS. I'm a clinical psychologist. We were offering free mental health services there. We built out raw space. We are the whistleblowers. Therefore, we were wrongfully evicted. So for the new Community Board 12 members, if there is a resolution that moves forward, even if you are new, part of the city charter is that everyone will move forward with a public hearing. This is a 5-page resolution. There was someone sleeping in the building. Steve, I'm sure you know that the New York City Parks is supposed to be running the building for free. Yes, that is true. It's right in the resolution. We have an article right here. It says right here. So this is the resolves. The resolves is to have a public hearing. All the public officials are aware of this. This is an example of profit over people. We are you are in a toxic culture in Manhattan Community Board 12, and we all know that we need a community center. We need free mental health services. So I'm asking for you to speak up and have your voice because it's very important, especially for those of you that already passed. Yes. Okay, here you go. Turn the mic off. Thank you. You're part of it.
Our next public speaker is, you have a question?
Yes. So I've been hearing you for a couple of years now. I don't really know you, but I want to know. I know you come here saying you need, of course, you're advocating for mental health services. I don't think anybody disagrees with you. But what I'd like to know is, what is your organization currently actively doing? Because that's something I don't hear from you when you come to these meetings. So I'm speaking. So I would like to know, what activities are you currently doing? I don't want to talk about the past. I want to talk about the now. What are you currently doing now?
Do you think that being evicted from the building and locked out of our own space? No, I'm saying, how can you run an agency when this community board and the public officials allow a free mental health services to be evicted? We built out that raw space. So to answer your question, if you were here a couple of months ago, we are doing training programs. We're doing trainings about mental health awareness. We have a training institute, and we are also providing a program called Youth Engaging Seniors. We go into senior centers. For the past couple of summers, we worked with Madison Square Boys and Girls Club. We work with 60 teens. We provide youth leadership development, mental health awareness, college readiness, job trainings. We never stopped doing our work, even though we were wrongfully evicted from the building. And the bigger question for a community board member is, why are you not investigating this building that was meant to be a community center? New York Presbyterian is in there. They have a room. As per the license, well, it's all right here. The resolution, it's dated June 1st, 2021. Any other questions?
That is a board member. Yes. What is your question? Hang on, before you answer the question, I have to repeat it for folks on Zoom. So we do have a question from a board member, Darlie Cornell. What is the current number of people that the organization serves and where they are housed? If you could provide some statistics related to that. And I need.
Okay, since 1996, we have served over 3,000 individuals. It's on our website, all the different programs. In the past 2 years, we served over 120 individuals through our partnership with Madison Square Boys and Girls Club. We worked at Dyckman Senior Center, so we service Northern Manhattan and the Bronx. We started off in South Bronx, and then we go to Washington Heights and Northern Manhattan. We have a mental health crisis right now. We have 496 students to 1 psychologist. Our mission is to raise awareness about mental health, and that's what we're currently doing right now, going into schools and offering these Reach Potential workshops. which help people raise awareness about wellness and mental health services. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, and my passion is to help those that don't have access to mental health counseling and other services that we provide.
All right, our last in-person, okay, sorry. We do have one more speaker from, is it a question? Like, it has to be a clarifying question. We should try and minimize questions for public speakers. Okay, so the question from, all right, so, all right, we are going to move on to the next public speaker. The next in-person public speaker. Okay, your time.
Gary.
Time.
Gary, listen, she's asking you about your work. Hold on, pause. I'm speaking. I am speaking. Do not speak over me. She is asking you about our work. For public session, we board members are able to point a question that is clarifying. What she's asking for you is that next month to come and talk about your current work. Period. It's not a conversation. And we have more members. We have more members and we have more people from the public that are speaking. You know how to reach me and you know where the office is. I wish we could promise everybody an apartment. Come on now.
All right, our last in-person public speaker is Alexis Marnell from Classical Theater of Harlem.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. This on? I can't tell. So putting on my theater administrator hat. How about now? All right. God, you people are picky. I'm from Classical Theater Harlem hat on right now. From July 5th through July 28th, we will be returning for the 13th year to present our Uptown Shakespeare in the Park Festival, where we are there for 3.5 weeks at the Richard Rogers Amphitheater at Marcus Garvey Park in Harlem. It is free. It has always been free. Last year we had 30,000 visitors. It will be from Tuesdays through Sundays, starting at 8:30. This year's production is an original work called Memnon by Will Power. Memnon is an unearthed story. It is not a new story. It is an old story that is just currently having investigation, and it is about Memnon, an Ethiopian king who was part of the Battle of Troy. Of course, it will have our signature music and dance, and it's rooted in the African diaspora. Thursdays through Sundays, we have the Harlem Night Market that I run with Uptown Grand Central and TBO Harlem, the Best of Harlem. And then we also have community tabling where we have medical testing, giveaways. We work with Children's Health Fund, Borican Neighborhood Health Center, Touro College of Medicine, and others. If you are a nonprofit /CBO and you would like to have a table, you can reach me at Alexis, ALEXIS, at cthnyc.org. Thanks. Yes, sir. Alexis recognizes Joel Labrea. How can I help? Oh, it happened already. Yeah. And it did great. And I made a fool of myself in front of Billy Crudup.
All right, we got one more. Oh, that was around there. No?
So we do have one more in-person speaker. There were a number of names crossed out. I'm just going to read them and confirm if anyone was accidentally crossed out before this was turned into me. There's a Catherine Chen, a Mark, a Kate Madigan, and then a Rachel Wilson. Are any of those other names in the room? Okay, so we are going to let you, Kate Madigan, speaking about free arts programming for 2 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Kate Madigan from the Public Theater. Speaking of Free Shakespeare in the Park, we are doing Much Ado About Nothing, bilingual Spanish and English, in J. Hood Wright Park, June 12th to the 14th. We just want to thank the Manhattan Borough President, Assemblymember Manny de los Santos, and all of the other members of the legislature and council that have expressed funding initiatives for our organization. We're gonna be performing these few days, a 90-minute family-friendly production. It is visiting all parks throughout the city. We just finished our tour in correctional facilities. We served both male and female populations at Metropolitan Detention Center and also Rikers Island. So we're very happy to have wrapped that tour up, and we'll be continuing throughout the month of June. Uptown, we're also doing Cathedral of St. John the Divine, and we'll be in the South Bronx as well. A lot of neighbors can hopefully make more than one show, but let me know if you have any questions. I'll email this flyer. And it's all free, 100% free to the public. Yes. Yes, J. Hood Park, June 12th to the 14th, all at 6:30 p.m. So get there early. You can RSVP online. You can also bring your own chairs if you want to make sure you have a seat. Just at J. Hood Wright Park. Also in Manhattan, we have Astor Place, Bryant Park, and the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now turn to the virtual public session. We have one speaker from there. It's John Saltos speaking from St. Spiridon Church. John, you should be able to unmute yourself and then you'll have 2 minutes.
Hello, this is John Saltos, and I'm the president of the Parish Council of St. Spiridon Church, located at 124 Wadsworth Avenue. We previously addressed this committee regarding our ongoing parking issues, and on behalf of the St. Spiridon community, we sincerely appreciate the efforts and support we've received from the Community Board 12 in helping us address these ongoing parking issues. Since the installation of the automated camera enforcement program, which is the ACE program, the New York City Transit Authority had implemented in August 2024, we've had issues with parking violations as parishioners are dropped off in front of our community. And, it's got to a point here where we had to go ahead and have people, educate them that they can't drop people off for more than a few minutes and have to move on. So we respectfully request that we get on to the next Transportation Committee meeting, which is on June 2nd. And there we would look to request the installation of signage here to help us address this issue where we can have no parking in front of our community rather than the current signage there. The current signage has no parking for just 2 spaces, and then it's school parking for the balance of it. We want to make sure that we can go ahead and have more non-parking spaces there to allow drop-off and pickup of our parishioners. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Do we have any questions before we conclude the public session for John? Any clarifying questions? Yes, Steve. So Steve had asked whether Community Board 12 had passed a resolution on this subject, and we have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
John, if you could still hear us, I want to say
can.
it was about 2 months ago. And I want to say after we learned of the issues at St. Spiridon, we did learn of other spaces of faith in the neighborhood that are also impacted by the same issue. So that is on our website. You can check that language up. And I think it's we do still invite you and any other spaces of faith that that are also affected by the issue to do still attend our Traffic and Transportation Committee. I think just understanding the depths of the issue is helpful.
Thank you so much here. And I have to say that it is impacting our community attendance and all that. I'm sure other communities as well. So we should be supportive of our faith communities.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, and that concludes the public session.
All right. Thank you, everybody. It's 8:16, almost there. We're going to move on to the business ahead of us tonight. I just want to acknowledge there were 2 items under housing that we will not be voting on tonight. So tonight we are voting on our licensing committees, and then there's one reso that is on our, I know that it's a bit of a pain, but it is on our Airtable on the website, so you can pull it up on the phone, and I can share screen for the resolved. which is under youth and education and the expansion of the Nest and Horizon programs. Yes, Steve?
That we were saying are different than what's listed on the agenda. They don't match whatsoever.
Give me a second. Do you mean by that, by the licensing ones?
This agenda has last month, not this month. So the ones that were on there, April are probably the correct. The ones that are listed
Okay,
here.
okay.
Looks like April.
All right, so let me.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're right though, but it is big stuff. I need to see what's.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Let's have, just for the sake of time, Isidro, if you can talk about the licensing items and I'll pull them up on the screen. We'll change the letters real quick. So that way when we're voting, we know what businesses fall under what number. Do you want, oh, agarra el micrófono.
Well, thank you so much, Chair. We did have a great meeting at licensing. Based on how the agenda is set, the one that you have in print, in person right now is correct. So I'll just say a couple of things about agenda item number 5. There were some issues as far as like a noise complaint on this particular agenda item. Public house, DBAs, Juanitas, public house. There was some noise complaints. There were some residents that were complaining because they had a speaker outside of the establishment. As you all know, and for those who are new, it is illegal to have speakers outside of a restaurant. So the agreement that we came into was to have the establishment and all operator submit a statement and also proof that they have removed the speakers. So they did submit a picture of before and after, and that was submitted to the community board with a statement that they will not ever have speakers outside because it's also illegal. Also, if you check agenda item number 6, which is Chipotle, the committee decided to vote against this particular applicant because they submitted an incomplete application. And also they did not show up to our community board meeting, to our licensing meeting. Lastly, there's one particular agenda item, which is agenda item number 12. We requested that they submit a copy of a sound limiter. Again, for those of you that are new to the community board, we usually request a sound limiter if in case there are like music that will extend beyond 12 midnight, just to make sure that the residents will have an opportunity to sleep. After that, we also made it the recommendation for the rest of the resolutions to be approved by this board. On that note, I'm going to ask to see if there are any questions, and I'm going to allow my committee members to chime in case I forget anything. Benjamin.
What's the problem?
It's something that is new. Thank you for bringing that up. So in this instance, the applicant requested that the license be removed because they're going to move to a new address, a new area. So whenever you have an active license and that particular operator wants to move, they have to remove the license first. Then they're going to apply for a new license on the new establishment. That is agenda number 10. Yeah. Chair, I don't know if I have any questions online. On that end, thank you all. You have a good night.
All right, and then we have one more from you. So just to confirm, it matches. So if you are looking at the agenda on your phone with the licensing packet. We get the Airtable on the link. No, it's me. It says me, and they match. I can pull up the list when we vote. Okay, Domingo's coming now. Cool. And then just because it did come in a little later, I'm just gonna highlight the resolved so people can see them, but you can't pull them up on your phone. If you could stand over there, please.
So we presented a resolution that I feel is very thorough. I don't know if we could put it on the board for folks who don't have it printed in front of them.
1 second.
What we try to do as a committee was make sure that we provided enough information on what these programs are. Then we dove into some district data. I want to thank Councilwoman De La Rosa for sending in some data that we incorporated into, this is the Google Doc one?
I didn't have the Google Doc one, but we can just make that.
Yeah, so it was just a simple whereas clause that spoke on pre-K data where some students that required mandated services are not receiving them. And it was approximately 60 students were waiting approximately a year to receive some of their, I don't think it's called IEPs at that, is it? Yeah, at the pre-K level. So just further delving into needs that the districts have, well, particularly our district, that are not necessarily being met, while we focus on, thank you to Tanisha and Jim, neurodivergent population within our district. Thank you for correcting me last time. All right, so the resolved is basically talking about, because I do agree with some of the things that are being said around like how are we properly following up with some of our resolutions. So for the new members, one thing that's important to note is the community board speaks through resolutions. So if committees are not necessarily voicing their opinion, speaking through resolutions, you're not basically saying anything besides talking amongst yourself. So that's just some advice as far as when you want to effectively advocate for something, just make sure that you do the proper diligence and make sure your voice is being heard through a resolution and pass it through your committee and then bring it to the board. But besides that, that's all I have. The whereas is not there. I could read the whereas. It's just simply stating some preschool data around services not being met in the district.
When this passed from exec, I passed along an edit and I just want to confirm. So for the room, the last resolved, I asked to amend to read that Community Board 12 instructs its staff to monitor implementation. And I think that that's accepted as a, okay.
That was. It's
I just wanted to confirm. Okay.
So like super picky, but the last whereas should end with communities, comma, now therefore be it. And then the first three resolves at the end should say, and be it further. So that's just like the consistent format. And my I have a question and a statement. Does NEST, is that like an abbreviation? NEST, does it stand for something? Okay.
That's up.
If you could go all the way up where NEST is first used, the existing NEST program. Right, no, I just like, so, okay, so NEST. I think NEST is actually supposed to be capital N-E-S-T, and N-E-S-T probably stands for something. And it would just be helpful to figure out what that is and to, I feel like that's worth looking into because it probably stands for something. I will also say that my kids are in their 30s. They are obviously no longer public school children, but they were District 6 public school children, and D6 kind of failed certainly my younger child who had special needs. So I'm in favor, and I hope everybody in this room is in favor of anything that brings these like really necessary services to our kids who are basically getting screwed.
It's just nuts, by the way.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
it's justness, and we have a citation sheet there that we could reference, but I want to make sure that I will be accepting any friendly amendments where you email the request, all right? So like that, we can move forward.
I just want to reassure Liz and everyone else here that this nest thing, whatever it is implemented all over the place. Right, and we want them to in the amount that we should have them, so our children are not underserved.
I'll just say it's not a nest thing. It's a program that's specifically for children with autism. That's what it is. That is the terminology. And so that is what we use. I would also suggest that people look it up before they get here so we can avoid questions like this and move on in a timely manner. Thank you, Chair. I yield back.
Okay. I know, it's okay. Well, then. Steve?
Could you pull up so we can see the resolve clauses? Yeah. Yeah, very good. It's a little unusual for the community board to make specific recommendations affecting schools to the effect that we're asking that programs be located at least 2 additional schools. I'm wondering if we've consulted with the school district itself and whether the school district agrees that this is something that they need and can implement.
I'll take that. I can answer that. So, Steve, we just passed this law in the state called smaller class sizes a couple of years ago. And it's supposed to be implemented in like 2 years. So we are already anticipating more schools being built to make sure that our children have smaller class size. Everyone knows that this program is needed in our neighborhood. We actually have parents who come to our education and youth meetings and talk about how they have to bus their children outside of school, outside of our district to get these services, and they're still limited. Some of us have lived experience because we have children and grandchildren as city board 12 members who have the same problem of there not being access in District 6. We're sure that the CEC and the Education District is on board, but that is not our main focus. Our main focus is our community and what our community needs. So regardless if they have the capacity, they're supposed to have the capacity. That's something that they have to work out, but we have to serve our community and our children and say these are one of the things that are desperately needed in our community. Thank you.
So Tanisha's the vice chair of the Youth and Education, and we have some members here who will chime in shortly. But I want to let folks know something that's very important to us and to our committee is listening to our community. You know, so we have parents that spoke, and we did our due diligence of researching the programs that they're speaking on and the importance. It's a shame that one school offers 33 seats, yet there's over 340 students in this district that need the service. So when we speak to the superintendent, I did send him the email. He did respond. He did reach out. He said he would be providing feedback. I guess, honestly, it wasn't received yet. The only person that did reply, everybody listed in this resolution got sent an email with the resolution, letting them know. The only person that replied was Councilwoman De La Rosa with additional stats on how the service is, on how District 6 is actually, if you want to term it failing kids with needs at even the preschool level. So that's something that we were trying to address what parents spoke to us about. So while we always support asking agencies whether or not our schools need them, but we rely on our parents to let us know what's needed at that level. So unfortunately, yes, I hear you, but at the end of the day, I feel parents also have a huge stake in this conversation to speak on what their children need. Go ahead, Norman. Okay. We'll send them the resolution as well so they can have something to speak on. So what Noemi said was, she's a member of our committee, but she's also in the CEC, that they'll be discussing that on Thursday. So once we pass this resolution, we'll send it over to them so they can have a template on to advocate as well for these programs. Anybody else?
Okay.
So new members, yes, there's a lot of conversations, but we debate ideas, not people. So at the end of the day, we got to make sure that we support our community. Sometimes the agencies don't show up, but we rely on people most of the time. So you know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all hear your community.
Okay, yeah, I see, Steve, thank you. There's two hands, it's 8:33. I'd really like to get to roll call because we do got to explain for new folks. So Marielle and Barbara, are there edits, clarifying questions, urgent points?
Ariel?
Thanks, Domingo. None of those, but I think something just to add additional context to help clarify some of the things that and as others mentioned, I do hope that colleagues will support this resolution. It's incredibly important. So to your point, Steve, yes, the Youth and Education Committee did do their due diligence and involve and speak to the stakeholders. In terms of the process, what would happen is this would be a request that would go to the Office of District Planning. And they then kind of start having those conversations with the district and so on and start scoping that. But again, I want to elevate Tanisha's point around, our smaller class sizes and the fact that, there's a whole new plan from the School Construction Authority to build more schools and more classrooms. So it's happening. And I think the committee is right to put forward a resolution as such. Thank you.
Okay.
And just for the number of why we are setting, we're not, and I think I should friendly amendment myself, right? We're asking for at least 2 minimum. That's the minimum they could do in this district, being that we have over 340 kids that need the service. That's only 99 kids that'll get the service. So you're talking about approximately 200 to 300 additional kids that are not getting the service, just saying.
That
Let 'em
is
know.
not bad.
Okay, I want to make a clarifying point, which Catherine made earlier to the new members. Most of the discussion on this stuff takes place at committee meetings. Now, that doesn't preclude discussion here. So keep that in mind also, but, we want to minimize it, but we, if necessary. The other piece of it is I think there was a problem with the premise of one of Steve's points, and that was, whether the district can do it. The district can't do it because they don't have the funding. That's the point. And we're saying to the Department of Education, essentially, give us the money so we can serve our kids.
I'm going to recognize Barbara. Hold on. I'm going to recognize Barbara and Darlie to close since both have not spoken. And then we're going to move to voting.
Okay, am I unmuted?
Yes.
Yes,
Here,
Barbara.
Okay,
Lindsay.
all right. Yeah, I've not only have I was a chapter leader, but many years with the Board of Ed. I also sat on school planning, school leadership teams, and also special education committees. So I'm pretty well versed in this. This NEST and this other thing appear to be collaborative team teaching models, which is something that the Board of Ed has really pushed. And that's not necessarily always the best model for autistic kids on the autistic spectrum. It's a money-saving model, but it's not always the best model for all autistic kids. And I really don't, and NYU is very popular for pushing collaborative team teaching. I really don't think it's the community board to say we want a specific type and model. Years ago, I had talked with Adriano Espaillat about having a school built in our community, which would be just specifically for autistic children, and that they would have their own school. which would be specifically designed for them. That is also
Thank you,
another, an
Barbara.
inclusive school. So I really think that
Thank
we
you so
should,
much, Barbara.
well, I'm not through yet.
Your recommendation is taken.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that we should really look and have, I'm offering a friendly amendment that we should say, we should offer and demand there be a broad spectrum that suits the needs of all autistic kids, because a child who is autistic, their needs are IEP driven, their individual educational program.
Thank you so much, Barbara.
Barbara, okay.
Friendly amendment not accepted.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, real quick.
Hold on, Tanisha. Darlie's speaking in the room.
I'm sorry.
Domingo's gonna repeat on the mic.
I got you.
They serve 1,972 children across the city. Almost none of those services are provided in our district. So for parents in our district, it doesn't matter if it's 10 kids, 1 kid, 5, they have to go completely across town or anywhere to find services that the DOE is supposed to provide in every district. So that is the result. We are not trying to take services away, IP from others. For others, what we are trying to say is the services needed here in our community because there are not enough seats for the kids who live here on District 6. That's all. And I hope everybody vote for it.
Yeah, so again, right, we had a very, we wrote, it took us 2 months to write this resolution just because we were listening to the families. This is what families asked for. So while I understand that our professional experiences and our professions have taught us different strategies, but our committee is supporting what families asked us. So any recommendation is welcome, but we will not be accepting it beyond what this resolution demonstrates at this particular moment. So I just want to say thank you. Vote as your conscience permits you. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we're speaking for our families. Any suggestions, any recommendations are welcome, but we're standing with our families. And if you have any anything you want to add to the conversation, I encourage you to join us in our meetings. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Domingo. At this point, we're gonna transition over to our roll call for voting. Alexis, can you make sure you have a mic? Yeah, you're done.
I just have one quick question. Why aren't we doing B and C? Just for the minute.
I'm sorry?
They never go.
We didn't get to the, yeah. All right, I want to just show real quick a guide to voting because we have lots of new voting members. And where did my screen go? Actually, stop. Sorry, give me 1 second. Oh, why is it doing that? Sorry, y'all. 1 second. All right, well, what else as I show it on the screen and we'll leave it up as we're voting. All right.
I want to make a few comments.
All right, we're gonna do this lightning round.
Yeah.
All right, can you actually grab that mic so everybody can see you? So Jim, as a parliamentarian, is going to walk us through voting tonight.
Well, I'm going to add a few things. In most organizations, when you abstain, you're not voting and it doesn't matter. In fact, on election day, if you stay home, you're abstaining. That's not how we count the votes here. Unless you vote in favor of a resolution and well, to begin with, you need a majority of votes for a resolution to pass. Okay? Unless you're voting for the resolution, and unless the number of votes for the resolution is a majority, the resolution won't pass. When you abstain, you are not voting for the resolution, and it's counted essentially as a no. So keep that in mind. The other complication is if you have a conflict of interest, and you may have learned about this already, like you work for an organization or your cousin owns the bakery or whatever, then you may not vote. So you announce that you're not voting. You have to tell us why you're not voting. We will help you determine if that's actually a reason not to vote. And that affects things too, because although you remain part of the quorum, there will be one less person needed for the majority. So those are technicalities. And now I'll let our chair explain the rest of it more nicely.
It's all on the screen. So if everybody can see okay, Alexis is going to ask really importantly. She's gonna go in roll call. We're gonna ask for silence again so that we have a lot of new names. And the list has changed. So she's gonna call one by one. We just ask for folks to refrain. If you want to change your vote, if maybe, you know, there was something you weren't clear, you're not ready, you could say pass and they'll come back to you. We've been talking a lot. Is there anybody that got questions, comments, needs clarifications?
We ready? Okay. Joe LeBreyu? Joe LeBreyu, yes to all. Jamirna Ramirez? No to, Jamirna, no to 6, yes to the rest. Richard Allman? Okay. Mary Anderson?
Yes to all.
Mary Anderson, yes to all. Jay Baez?
Yes to all.
Where is he? Okay, Jay Baez, yes to all. Jacob Banis?
Yes to all.
Jacob Banis, yes to all. Radia Barnes?
Yes to all.
Radia Barnes, yes to all. Wayne Benjamin? Wayne Benjamin, yes to all. James Berlin?
And yes to the rest.
Okay, James Berlin, no to 10, 11, 12, and 13, yes to the rest. Great. John Benitez?
Yes to all.
John Benitez, yes to all. Danny Bonilla?
Yes to all.
There you are. Danny Bonilla, yes to all. Hector Bonilla?
Hello, yes to all.
Hector Bonilla, yes to all. Eliezer Bueno? Eliezer Bueno? Darrell Cochran?
Yes to all.
Darrell Cochran, yes to all. Darlie Cornell? Darlie Cornell, yes to all. Nobles Crawford? Robin Cruz? Stephen De Jesus? I'm sorry, dear. Yeah.
Administered by the DOT, that's required to declare conflict of interest.
Yeah, that one does.
Okay, so conflict of interest on that one is explained, yes to this.
No, yeah, so you're gonna, so you're saying conflict of interest. I understand for Reso 13, because you work for,
City.
and yes to the rest. So conflict of interest, Reso 13, because you work at the Department of Transportation, and yes to the rest. Catherine Diaz?
Yes to all.
Catherine Diaz, yes to all. Noemi Diaz? Noemi Diaz, yes to all. Domingo Estevez? Domingo Estevez, yes to all. Erwin Fernandez?
Yes to all.
Erwin Fernandez, yes to all. And Luana is excused. Sonia Figueroa Pagan?
Yes to all.
Sonia Figueroa Pagan, yes to all. John Francis?
Yes to all.
You on there? John Francis, yes to all. Jonathan Fermetta? Thank you. Jonathan Brumetta, yes to all. Tai Fujimura. Did I say it right? Oh, I'm so excited. Tai Fujimura, yes to all. Thank you. Yes to all. Tanisha Grant. Tanisha Grant.
Yes to all.
Tanisha Grant, yes to all. Heidi Guzman. Heidi Guzman, yes to all. Jody Herson. No. No. Andrea Intriago. Andrea Intriago, yes to all. Yosef Kalinsky.
He is Tonya.
Leo is Leo. Leo Jimenez, no? I don't know who's talking. Okay. OC Kaminer? OC Kaminer, yes to all. Alexis Marnell, yes to all. Alexis Marnell, yes to all. Tracy McNeil? Tracy McNeil? Isidro Medina?
And forward on agenda number 9 is this is thousand this is my bid, and I am the secretary of the
I'm sorry, just number 9, conflict of interest, and yes to the rest. Isidro Medina. And Mayas?
Why is yes to all.
Thank you. And
El-
Vegas, yes to all.
Alexis Eliezer's back.
What?
Eliezer has his hand raised.
Okay, Eliezer, are you ready?
Yes,
Okay, are you saying yes to all?
yes, yes, to all.
Okay, Eliezer Bueno, yes to all. Oh, I'm sorry about this. Dion, I was gonna call you Dennis in Greek, so just, okay, Diogenes Montano, and yes, how do you vote, Jim?
Yeah.
Yes to all. Diogenes Montano, yes to all. Carmen Polino?
Yes to all.
Carmen Polino, yes to all. Indiana Porta?
Yes to all.
Indiana Porta, yes to all. Liz Ritter?
Yes to all.
Liz Ritter, yes to all. Bruce Robertson?
Yes to all.
Bruce Robertson, yes to all. Steve Simon? Steve Simon, yes to all. Melissa Sims? Melissa Sims, yes to all. So that's my friend. I'm excited she's here. Oh, I'm gonna apologize. Etan Steinbaum? Eitan Steinbaum. Oh, all right. Okay, Eitan Steinbaum, yes to all. Lizette Taveras? Lizette Taveras, yes to all. Carl Enegbu? Carl Enegbu, yes to all. Anthony Viola? Anthony Viola, yes to all. Crystal Woodley? Crystal Woodley? Crystal Woodley, yes to all. Richard?
Yes to all.
Richard Allman, yes to all. And that is it.
All right. So I'm going to ask in the 10 minutes that we have left for committee chairs who have things in June to come on down if you can, or I'm going to pass the mic in this case to, oh, okay. She's coming on down. And for folks on Zoom, we're going to do 10 minutes speed lightning round if that works for everyone. All right. So 2 minutes each. Where's the mics? You want to come right here? No. Let me pass. No, I got you. And if you could introduce yourself.
I'm Mary Anderson. I'm the chair of the Committee for Concerns of the Aging. Please read the minutes from our last meeting. We had a great meeting. And, you'll be interested in the topic of the conversations that we had. Our next meeting, which is on June 5th, will not be a formal meeting. We're actually going to be in the Audubon Plaza, which is on Audubon Avenue between 165th and 166th Streets, doing a senior health fair. There were some flyers on the table as you came in where you signed in. We're going to be partnering with several other organizations, with the DA's office, with an organization called WICOA, which is the Washington Heights Inwood Council on Aging. Isabella, ARC 16, New York Presbyterian. Who did I leave out, Erwin? Anyway, we're going to have about 20 tables of information from different organizations.
Oh, happy monkey.
In the community. And it's going to be a really fun event. The weather is supposed to be fantastic. So we'll be having it outdoors. If by any chance it should rain, we'll be having the event in the Alianza building, the Triangle building right there on the second floor. So hopefully all the seniors and community are invited and will come. Yes, I'm sorry. The health fair is from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And there will be lunch also provided by City Meals. And the food is really good. We had them last year and they provided a really nice lunch.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Mary. All right. We're going to pass it off to Marielle, who got bedtime.
Thanks, Kathy. Hi, everyone. Sorry I can't be there in person today. Excuse me. So Housing and Human Services, we had a really good meeting. And honestly, I think it was a really good way to kind of close out my tenure here on the community board. We had a presentation from DHS. There's going to be a new family shelter on Wadsworth Terrace. I encourage everyone to review the minutes. It's going to be a family site. It was a really good conversation. We also had members of the community talk to us about the impact of the closure of the Fort Washington Collegiate Church and kind of the community programming. We did have a subsequent, for the kind of the board's wider knowledge, a subsequent conversation about what engagement on that issue looks like for the community board. And as an executive board, it was decided that a letter would be written to the wider board around what would be happening with the space. So looking forward to seeing that. There were supposed to be 2 resolutions that we were going to vote on this evening, but they'll be postponed to June. But I did want to kind of quickly put them on your radar for awareness. One is around the HPD, so the Housing Preservation and Development for New York City has a down payment assistance program. And it's a great opportunity to kind of really create home ownership opportunities, particularly for the middle class and kind of the working class New Yorkers. However, the barrier to kind of, there are barriers to entry in that the actual cost for the application can sometimes prevent people from accessing such an opportunity, as well as really long wait times and all of that. So all of that said, the resolution that you will be reviewing in June would be to kind of, talk about it, kind of address some of those barriers to entry and access into that opportunity. The second resolution that will be before you next month will be on the Rent Guidelines Board. So for our new members, the city has the Rent Guidelines Board, which is the entity that votes every year on your rent increase, especially if you lived in a rent-stabilized apartment like I do. And I'm sure most of you do, because Washington Heights and Inwood happens to have the largest number of rent-stabilized apartments in New York City. So it's incredibly important to us. Unfortunately, and as expected, the Rent Guidelines Board did put out their preliminary rent range. So what happens is at the end of April, early May, they usually come together. It's composed of both tenants as well as landlords. They agree or vote on a range for 1-year and 2-year leases. And then they actually like finalized the vote at the end of June. So this year, what they had put out for 1-year leases, 1.75% to 4.75% increase. And then for 2-year leases, it was 4.75% to 7.75% increase. However, interestingly enough, there was so much pushback on all of this that actually today the board decided to bring it down slightly, still not enough. They brought it down for 2-year rent increases from 3.75% to 7.75%. All of that to say, though, it's not enough. We recognize the affordability crisis in the city, and so the resolution is calling for a rent freeze, and to not raise the rents because it's too damn high. So that will be before you next month. And with all of that, just want to close out in saying thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure to serve on the community board over the last 5 years. And to our new members, I really hope you enjoy it. It's really been an absolute honor, and I hope you enjoy your tenure on the community board. Thank you.
Thank you, Marielle. She's leaving?
Yes, I'm leaving. Have kids. Bedtime.
Good
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you for your service, Marilyn. My name is Joel Abreu, or Joel Abreu. I'm the Business Development Committee Chair. I'm just going to speak briefly. The Knicks are currently playing. I don't know if you guys are aware.
I was trying to see the game.
But I encourage everyone, especially the new members, to come and attend our meetings. We meet the first Tuesday of every month. Our next meeting on June 3rd. They happen at 7 p.m. And our goal really in the committee is to garnish as much resources as possible, from legal to workforce to grants to any type of betterment for our small businesses in our community. Just briefly, what we did last month, we had a spirited discussion on MWBE, Executive Law 15A. Thank you, Mr. Wayne Benjamin, for joining us. And the New York Women Chamber of Commerce joined us on our discussion on renewing MWBE on the state level. I'll refer you to the minutes for the details. We also had a report from the Community League of the Heights, which is trying to form a bid from 155 to 173.8. See, I always forget, but it's a big bid. They're trying to garnish support from merchants to landowners. So kind of shared the numbers. I'll also refer you to the minutes about that. And our next meeting, we're gonna have we have 3 speakers. One is a consulting group, another an author on workforce development, and SBS is going to show us a part of their team is a cannabis task force that they have, and they'll be joining us next meeting. So welcome to the new members.
Thank you. All right. Going one. Oh, okay. He got it. Oh, you're coming up or are you leaving? I'm asking, genuinely asking. He's coming up. I'm just gonna have him, and then I'm gonna say one thing, and there's an announcement from Health. Oh, okay. We're gonna go speed lightning. Come on, isn't that
So, good evening. I'm Wayne Benjamin. I chair the Land Use Committee for CB12. Welcome to all of the new members. I would refer you to the minutes, but last time I looked, they were not posted, but they will be. We also discussed the Fort Washington Collegiate Church within the Land Use Committee, but hearing that Health and Environment, Housing and Human Services had previously discussed it, we kind of deferred to that committee and to the chair to address whatever is going to be passed. You'll notice that for June, there is a Inwood rezoning commitments meeting. 2018, the community board passed an extensive resolution pertaining to rezoning that was proposed in Inwood. And that resolution addressed not just the rezoning, but also, I think, a decade's worth of investments on the part of the city. And as part of that, there were, I think, 39 pages of commitments of what the city will do on various programs and projects. And that is something for which there is a tracker. And these commitments go across all of the committees that are part of the board. So in June, there'll be an update by EDC, which oddly enough is the entity that ran this, not city planning,
that's addressing some of the more global issues, and that's going to be addressed to land use. But in September, there's going to be more of a town hall meeting where the various city agencies that are in charge of some of the commitments will address what they have done and what they are doing. So I encourage the committees to look at the tracker, and I believe Catherine circulated that to all the committee chairs last month. Look at that tracker and see what are your questions so that we can provide them to EDC, which is acting as the point, so that in September, we can have an update that is targeted to address our concerns, and we don't have a meeting where we're saying, well, you're not addressing X, Y, and Z, because there's so many things on the table. If we don't say, here are our priorities, we want to know what's happening with A, B, and C, they have no way of knowing which of the 39 pages of things are most important to us now.
If you want to come around, I'll say. They're changing the votes on in the space. I have to change it. It's 28.
I don't know. I mean, the inward rezoning, we did discuss it for like 18 months or longer, because at every single committee meeting, we discussed that. But the resolution was passed in 2018, but it might have began in conversations in 2015. But that resolution should be posted to the community board's website. So new committee members, old committee members who don't know what the hell I'm talking about can pull it up from there and see what we're talking about.
Thanks, Wayne. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Carmen Paulino. I am a member of the Health and Environment Committee, and I vice chair the Traffic and Transportation Committee and the Cannabis Task Force. Welcome to all of you new members. I just wanted to invite you to the Traffic and Transportation meeting, which occurs the first Monday of every month. That would be tragic.
Yeah, that would.
The first Sunday, the first Monday of every month. On our June's agenda, we have a DOT presentation on bike lanes, one on 181st and between 181st and 182nd and Cabrini, and also on Riverside Drive and Dykeman. So please, if you want us to hear your thoughts and opinions, please join us. And also the Cannabis Task Force meeting is right before that meeting, so I ask you to join us. And shout out to Health and Environment. We meet the first Thursday of every month. So just come to all of our meetings. It'll be great, and great to meet you all.
That's so Steve. You got the files. Yeah, forget Health and Environment.
Well, thank you for your loyalty. I was getting a little concerned there, talking about traffic and transportation. You veer off into talking about cannabis, and I thought you were going to leave us out. But you're right. We would like the new members to join us at our next meeting, Health and Environment Committee, Thursday at 7 o'clock at the CB12 offices at 530 West 166th Street. At the next meeting, June the 5th, we expect to take up the issue you heard tonight about the layoffs at New York Presbyterian Hospital. We also expect to get a report on whether or not the hospital has finally restored 24 of the psych beds to the Allen Hospital, which has been a major issue that we have been advocating for a number of years, trying to get the hospital. They cut out 30 beds some years ago and used COVID, during COVID, and then despite the fact that they no longer needed those beds for COVID patients, they've been taking a long time to restore them. And frankly, I don't know whether they would be restored or not for the fact that we keep on raising that issue. We're also going to discuss at the next meeting. We're going to follow up on what we had last month. Despite the fact of what you heard here earlier tonight, we do hold public hearings. And in fact, we had one last month or earlier this month on noise in public plazas. It was a public hearing. So we're going to, we did it jointly with the Traffic and Transportation Committee. We're going to take some time in June and try to digest what we heard and hopefully come up with a joint resolution with the Traffic and Transportation Committee to address this issue. We're also expecting to get a presentation from the DEP Borough Commissioner, that's the Department of Environmental Protection, on flooding 101. If you want to know what to do in case of flooding, Apparently, that's your presentation. And I'm also asking Columbia to give us a report. Cut that out. I'm also asking Columbia to give us a report on the impact of the Trump budget cuts on the research that is supposed to be taking place here at the medical center. A number of people have been laid off because of those cuts. We want to know how this has affected important medical research that should be taking place here and future research that they may have to also eliminate because of these budget cuts. We need to know the real impact of what's going on. And
OC's announcement.
and the last thing I'm hoping to squeeze in, if I can, is an annual report from EMS on the local ambulance corps and their workload and their response times. We usually get an annual report to see how our local ambulance group is doing. And so that's it. Hope some of the new members can join us Thursday, June the 6th. Mark it down, 7 o'clock at 530 West 166th Street. Thank you all. And I appreciate the fact that this kid's name is Stefan, so it won't get confused with my name.
Okay, announcement. I'm standing here for 3 months telling you about the ASPCA services for spay neuter wellness vaccination clinics for low-income pet owners, okay? So this time, the ASPCA upgraded their program, and anyone can, low-income pet owners can scan the barcode here and complete the application anytime, not only the 6 a.m. in the morning, the day of services. I am asking everyone here, you're in zip codes 10032, 33, 34, and 40. That's why you're here, right? If you know anyone that cannot afford spay neuter for the dogs, cats, wellness vaccination, please scan that code. You can go on the ASPCA website and find it. Ask them to complete it. My goal here is to bombard the ASPCA with requests. Remember, we were only going to get 4 appointments. I'm sorry, 4 clinics. We got 9 so far. All right. I want a brick and mortar clinic in our district. We are not going to get it unless we can continue to bombard them. So people need to file and file a lot. If you know anyone, you don't know how to do it, you know where to find me. Okay. I am asking everyone to do that. Okay. Thank you.
All right. That's period. All right. So thank you, OC. I would like to conclude the meeting if there's a motion. I heard Carmen and I think seconded was Daryl. Thanks folks who are still hanging on tight online, and for those in person, thank you. Have a great night. See you next month.